everybody, my name is Starrapter and welcome back to the channel. This is my spoiler-free review for Star Wars The High Republic The Rising Storm. It's going to be out on June 29th, so you can pre-order it now wherever books are sold. I have a link to its Amazon page down in the description down below. So thanks to everybody over at Lucasfilm and Del Rey for sending me this one a little bit early. So this one takes place about a year after the events of The Light of the Jedi, written by Chancellor Lina Soh, which was the book that kicked off the High Republic era, which remember is set about 200 years before the events of the Phantom Menace. So now that the great hyperspace disaster is over with, the galaxy is kind of coming back together, the Starlight Beacon is functioning as one of the great works from Lina Soh, the Chancellor of the Republic. Another great work she's trying to get off the ground is this Great Republic Fair, also in the frontier on the planet Valo. So she wants to create this event to kind of give unity and a unifying force to everyone in the Outer Rim, showing everybody nearby why the Republic is so great. So, of course, that does not go according to plan, because we have the Nihil that attack, and the Nihil were introduced in Light of the Jedi, and they are the very serious group of people that are going against the Republic. They're basically like space Vikings for the most part. They kind of look like characters from Mad Max, which, this mismatched armor. They're pretty much kind of like barbarians in space. So we have that all going on. And that's as much as I want to talk about, because there's a lot of surprises here in this story. We have a lot of returning characters. So we have Bel Zettifar, who is a Padawan. We also have Elzar Mann, who is now a Jedi Master and is suffering from these visions of kind of like a dark future. So a lot of really intriguing things happening. What I will say right off the bat is this really has that kind of Avengers feel, where you have these huge battles and different characters kind of floating in and epic points of view, kind of like from the Phantom Menace, where you had Anakin in space and you had a Jedi fighting Maul, then you had Padme with her sink in the throne room. There's very much that sort of feel, where it feels Star Wars at its core, having all these intertwining pieces together, characters showing up, helping other characters, just a lot going on. Valo as a planet has such a great kind of introduction, and we get to see kind of a slow build up to like what is all around these different floating platforms, the absolute opulence of what this place could actually be to exist, to shepherd in this new era of Star Wars, and just the way that everything is kind of positioned, making some of these action points even more interesting. I think that these characters really got pushed to the limit in this story. Even though this is more of like an ensemble piece with so many characters, so many different point of views, you will see characters start from a certain point and end up at a certain point. Characters that I really liked, as far as, somebody like Selen, or he's a new character in a Selen Geo. So you have Ty York, which is a saber for hire. So very interesting, kind of like, I would equate it, she's kind of like the Witcher in the Star Wars universe, a monster hunter, but she started off as a Jedi, now she is doing her own thing, she's kind of left the Order. And we also have a character that is a reporter in Star Wars named Rill, and I liked having that kind of a perspective on the Star Wars galaxy. She even has this droid called T9, which is a holo recorder droid. They're still creating different kind of droids in Star Wars after all these years, which I'm very psyched to see. But overall, I think the Nihil becoming more deadly in this, seeing how they're just crazy, but they also have a lot of layers to them. You have characters like Markian Ro and Pan Eta and Lorna D, all these different characters that are higher ups in the Nihil, and even some lower ranking people in the Nihil are portrayed very well here and having lots to do, but they could have been just very one-off characters, but they aren't. There's so many awesome Legends Easter eggs in this story. I think Cavan Scott deserves like an award for how many different references can I put in a Star Wars book that are making some old things canon again, basically, because it's a lot of fun having Wikipedia up and be like, oh, what's that species, or what's that location, or oh, I recognize that name, oh, it's canon now. Like a lot of cool stuff like that. Getting down to it, this book gave me a roller coaster of emotions. There was moments where I was fist pumping as certain characters walked in to save the day. Other moments of absolute like sadness and just absolute despair at what was happening. I think the pacing of the story is one of the best pacing, some of the best pacing for any Star Wars book so far. Some of the chapters can range from like 10 to 15 pages maybe, whereas some pages maybe range like 2 pages, and they all have locations based on the chapters, just like Light of the Jedi, so it does add to that more integrated feel where some of these characters can be in the same location. You're like, oh, I see what they did there. So, but it keeps it nice and brisk, and there wasn't really any chapters that I was like, let's get to the next one. All these characters, these chapters that focus on the characters, are all very interesting, and a lot of them, you know, end with cliffhangers. A lot of them end with those like little hitches where it's like, I need to read what's more, but first, oh, let's go back to this other really cool part of the story. Really, the only negatives that I can say, the only negative I can say is there was one moment that felt a little bit convenient that it was resolved so quickly. But other than that, I really don't have much to say negative about this book because I thought it was freaking awesome. I gotta give Star Wars The Rising Storm a score of a 9.5 out of 10. Cavan Scott, man, this guy has been in Star Wars for a while. He has written some of the young reader books like Adventures in Wild Space, and you know, he did the Dooku audiobook. But to see him tackle his first Star Wars full-fledged novel in Del Rey, this guy, you would think he was writing these kind of stories for years. And I'm just so happy this guy's involved with the High Republic because this felt fresh. I love what he did with taking characters that were already, you know, presented in Light of the Jedi and continuing their stories, even though it was a different writer that did that story. So being able to see the integration, the crossing over, there's lots of teases to different characters and what they're doing outside of this story specifically. It doesn't get much better than this. And, you know, I already gave The Light of the Jedi a 9.5. I got to give this a 9.5. So far, The High Republic is an absolute hit. So many people are enjoying it. And there's very good reasons to, because again, I like the risk that's involved with these stories. We do not know where like 95% of these characters are going to end up. Sure, we get the characters like, you know, Yoda that are mentioned and whatnot, but for the majority, like 98% of these characters, their fates are left up to the writer's hands here. They are not handcuffed by any kind of barriers like movies or TV shows. So man, oh man, if you guys haven't started reading The High Republic, what are you waiting for? Because this is some of the best Star Wars, period, that you'll ever experience. So that is my review of Star Wars The Rising Storm. Also, I forgot to mention, there's going to be like 3 different covers. You can get like normal cover as in a thumbnail, but we also have one from, I believe, Target, as well as Out of Print have their own exclusive cover. So I like how they are actually giving us different options. So there you go. This is the beginning of Wave 2, and we are going to have like 3 phases at least. So, you know, this is just the beginning. And if this is just the beginning, I can't imagine how much further in this is going to be, because this is such a great ride so far. So let me know in the comment section below. Are you enjoying the High Republic? Let's talk about it down there. For more on the High Republic, I have an entire playlist dedicated to the High Republic on this channel, so make sure you check that out. And do subscribe to the channel, as I talk about the High Republic a lot, and you won't want to miss any of that content. That is going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.